We took students to Haiti because Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere by far, and one of the poorest in the world. And yet it has more NGOs there, non-governmental organizations, than any other country in the world except for India. But it's so much smaller than India. It's sometimes called a republic of NGOs. And then especially after the earthquake of 2010, the need there is so dire. The poverty is acute, it's chronic, and there are so many needs. Everything has failed in Haiti in so many ways. The state has failed, the sanitation system has failed, the food system has failed, the housing system has failed, and so on. And yet there are so many different organizations there, including the United Nations and, as I said, thousands of NGOs, trying to remedy the situation, that it is in fact a perfect laboratory for our students to learn how that kind of poverty and all of its manifestations are dealt with and addressed, and what works and what doesn't work.
We're not letting the Haitian government.
I didn't know what to expect, actually. I knew that Haiti was a developing country. I knew that Haiti had a lot of turmoil. I knew about the earthquake that happened, but other than that, I hadn't learned much about Haiti. That my aunt and uncle just recently, within the last year, adopted a boy from Haiti. They live in Orlando, Florida. So I had a lot of different interactions with Haiti, but I guess no expectations. But I've done other study abroads, and so I knew that I would hope to get to know a lot of the people, to get to live a little bit like they live, and to look into their eyes and to talk to them.
The third way in which we support these organizations is
one of the greatest realizations that I have here, and the main difference that I see between my own people in the United States and the population here is that they're just expected to do so much more. Not only do they need to figure out how to do new things, but they also need to learn how to manage them. And they don't have an infrastructure to fall back on. In the United States, if something doesn't work, you call the electric company. Or if the water isn't running, you call the water company. And here they don't have that, so they also need to be that. And on top of that, they still need to somehow make a living and make it day to day. And so there's a greater demand on the communities in general here than there is in the United States.
The implications of the lack of funding. I wanted to come to Haiti to really understand poverty. In peace and justice studies, I'd studied a lot about poverty and understood it in an academic or logical sort of way, but it's different understanding it in a more emotional way, coming to Haiti and feeling it, getting a more intimate knowledge with it. And I still don't think that, being able to choose whether or not to come here means that that poverty still will only be understood for us in an abstract sense. But I think we're able to understand it a little more when walking through camps of displaced people, seeing the living conditions, understanding how many people here are living without clean water, without electricity. And so I think that's the reason why I wanted to come. I wanted to understand poverty better than I did and understand what it means for me in terms of how I should live, what type of social or political action that I should take in my life, really what it means to live an ethical life as somebody who's been born into privilege and affluence.
Haiti had a successful slave revolt, the only one in history, where slaves not only threw off their masters but then created their own state. And this happened in the 19th century, and the world powers at the time were not forgiving of that fact. And so Haiti began its existence as an independent country under the burden of having to fight against the world powers which wanted to continue to keep it in subservience. And in one way or another, this has been the story of Haiti even until, the present day. And so there are many institutions around the world and governments around the world that have extracted resources from Haiti and kept Haiti in its place. And so only until the last few years has there been some pullback from that kind of relationship with Haiti, and a greater degree of cooperation and collaboration where world institutions actually want to help Haiti. And so Haiti was in a very, very poor and desperate state before the earthquake, and all the more so thereafter. So there's a lot of work to do for historic reasons, for economic reasons, for political reasons. So there is this long history needing to be addressed. The people are there the Haitians are poor, not by accident, not just because things have gone badly for them, over the years. It's not at all that simple. And so to engage the problematic, which is Haiti, is also to engage one's own country's history, one's own government's policies, and a host of financial institutions and political institutions and their policies in regard to Haiti. So our students did that as well.
So you've had 500,000 leaders come through here easily. Yeah. Dr. Minch and I wanted to marry our disciplines together, peace and justice and nursing, and see what we could do combining these two disciplines. And so this Haiti study abroad is the product of that. The intention of the Haiti study abroad is to repeat this experience every other year, taking nursing students and peace and justice students, having students from both those disciplines come together, teach each other, and to experience Haiti in a way that enlightens them, enriches their lives, and bring that experience back and share it with other students in the classroom. I want the students to come away from this Haiti experiencing understanding how diplomacy, economics, and governments all play into health of a system, of a country, of a people, and how if we don't have social systems in place, that impacts health and causes there to be ill health in a country.
Are people wanting to learn more about it?
In the United States, we picture health care associated with hospitals and our primary care physicians, and we take a lot of things for granted in our homes that we don't necessarily associate with health care. We've all heard that we need to wash our hands before we eat, and have just become common practices that we don't even think about anymore. Here in Haiti, from a healthcare perspective, it's quite overwhelming, actually. They don't have the conveniences that we do. They don't have running water in their homes. There is feces in the street. There's no sanitation system, really, to mention. People use the toilet and it gets thrown into the street, and when the rains come, it washes out into the streams. People bathe in those streams. A lot of them go to the rivers to get their water. They're doing what they have to do and have always done to survive and live one day at a time.
I believe that healthcare starts at the most basic levels. Clean water, good sanitation, a roof over your head. A lot of times we think that healthcare happens when you see a doctor or the minute you walk into a hospital because you're sick. But it's literally impossible to have quality healthcare in your life when your very basic needs are not met. If you don't have balanced nutrition in your diet, if you don't have access to water that is safe and clean to drink, if you don't have a place where you can be sanitary and have a flush toilet, things that we take for granted in the United States. Most people in this country, in Haiti, do not have those advantages, and it's very difficult to be healthy and to have a healthy family when you can't even meet your basic needs.
What we wanted to do is help nurses to understand how healthcare is about primary political, structural, economic processes and institutions, not just what happens behind the door of a hospital or a doctor's office and so on. And nurses have this really important skill. It's in demand around the world, and there are places where it's very much more in demand than it is here in the United States. And so frankly, we were also hoping to motivate nursing students, to encourage them to see that with that really important skill set they have, that they might go and share it throughout their career for years and years to come in places like Haiti. What people take for granted when they live in rich countries is how everything works together so smoothly that you're not even aware of how everything works together. Politics, economics, food systems, health systems, educational systems, political systems. And when those systems begin to break down, they affect one another. And so there's a regressive dynamic. And in Haiti, you find all layers and layers of complexity, because when one system is broken or degenerating or deteriorating, it affects others in just that same way. And so another level of complexity is how different groups, different governments, different organizations work together, devoid of paternalism, devoid of neocolonialism and condescension and control, yet bring to the problematic the resources that only some people have and only some institutions have and others don't have.
They coat the insides with vegetable oil.
Clean Water for Haiti was a program where they are creating sand filtration systems. Really simply, they're just these concrete walled cylinder type of thing. There's a plastic gate that goes inside of it, and they put the sand on top of it and you run your water through it. The organisms inside the water create their own biocenter, and then as the water goes through, those organisms eat the bad ones, and it's a way to naturally clean your water. It was exciting because you could see them actually doing the work. And from what I learned in Clean Water for Haiti, they also charge. He was saying that there's a higher rate of use and continued use if they're charged for it.
We went to an organization called World Relief, and they talked to us about some of the projects that they've done, and one of their biggest projects is agriculture, giving out microcredit loans for small groups to secure land. It's just rented land, but it's still land that they can grow crops on. It gives them seeds that are minimal cost so that they can plant and try and, sustain a life. They took us out to one of these farms, and just walking around, there's stuff growing, but with the tropical weather here, it gets flooded out a lot. But they walked us through, and we got to this little shack, and I mean a shack with tin walls, a tin roof, no door, where this family is living on this land that they grow crops. And you could see that there was no water around. They had access to maybe irrigation water, but even at that, that's not clean water for them to be consuming. And as we were leaving, they offered us a huge rice bag full of corn as a gift for visiting them. So they can barely give themselves a sustainable life by producing these crops and hoping to sell them. Yet for us to come and visit them is such a big thing and such an honor to them that they sent us home with, I don't even know how much. That's probably 3 days worth of selling, and they just sent it home with us. The Haitian people have this great sense of strength and this resilience. They just have this strength and life to them, and that was an experience that showed that to us.
One experience that has impacted me is when we went up to the Central Plateau to Miria Ballet, and we met with Fonkoze. They're a microfinancing organization that mostly helps women get back on their feet or help them through difficult circumstances. And after learning about the basics of the program, they actually took us to some women's homes where we actually got to see this program in process, and they showed us to 3 different women's houses from the beginning to the end, and it was just an amazing experience to see that progress. I was kind of thinking, this isn't really a good idea, I don't see how this NGO would really be benefiting so much, but to actually see it in progress was really impactful.
Our students were affected emotionally, as any sane and morally healthy person would be, by the complexity, the comprehensive nature of the poverty. So you see people without a decent place to live. You see people without sufficient food to eat. All these things are connected. And when you know that they're all connected and that to improve any one of these sectors, you need to improve the others, is to feel a sense of the depth and complexity of the problem.
It's been profoundly painful to see the type of poverty. Just to see kids without clothes and people passing by as if this is the way things should be. It's just a humiliating experience to, I guess, drive in a bus and look at them as if they're creatures for us to study. And I know that it's necessary to understand, but it's been very uncomfortable to be in the position of objectification, and it's been difficult for me to try to reconcile who I think I am value-wise with what I'm doing here.
I feel like I am leaving a different person. There's so much heartache in the world, and it just, I guess it boggles my mind. There's no way else to put it, as far as the suffering that other people endure and the, the pure luck that we have in the United States to be in the position we are.
Haiti is not the easiest place to be. It's hot, it's humid, you sleep under mosquito nets, you take a regimen of vaccinations before you go. You have to worry about the water you drink, you have to worry about the food you eat if you're eating it, say, off the street. And so Haiti does present challenges, but it is so very, very much worth it, because, again, it's a place where our students can learn a host of things uniquely. And perhaps they would learn a similar set of things in Malawi, but Malawi's halfway around the world, and Haiti is close to our shores. And so the opportunity for students to learn about structural violence and that kind of poverty and how those problems are being addressed fits perfectly with our wider set of goals in peace and justice studies, because we're educating students to be world changers. We're educating students to enter professions and to enter graduate programs where they know about the world, they know something about the problems and the solutions on a global scale. And so this is an important piece of our overall plan, our overall pedagogy, and what we're trying to do to create, a first-rate peace and justice studies program.
My hope is that I can leave Haiti as a Haitian, that part of Haiti is inside of me, and that maybe I can leave just a little bit of me here so that I can keep that connection.
I was not expecting to fall in love with Haiti in the way that I did. It's hard not to be emotional. When I came, I expected that I would have an amazing experience, that I would love what I saw and love what I learned. But I think that my life is forever changed. A piece of Haiti will come home with me, and I will leave a piece of my heart here in Haiti. And I desperately hope to come back.
I take a lot for granted, and hopefully after this, I won't. And hopefully after this, I'll get into the grad school programs that I want, and I'll be a part of the change and the development and creating a better life for people. Hopefully in Haiti, if not somewhere else.
I've developed an unmeasurable respect for the people that live here. They are so resilient, and being put in the same place, I don't think I can do it. and I'll be forever changed, and a part of my heart will stay here.
Being here, being in a third world country is definitely a shocker. You know, you can read about it, you can imagine it, you see documentaries, you see movies, you see pictures and things like that. So you've seen it before and you understand what's happening, but it's not until you really get here and you're breathing the same air, you're walking the same streets, that you realize, wow, this is a third world country. This is nothing like America at all. This is nothing like, you know, this shouldn't be what anybody has to live through.
This trip has really cemented that I am on the right path. I've always thought that I really wanted to work for an organization helping other people, and I think coming here and seeing that help really is needed, and not only that, but there are people my age, younger, older, that are here and really making a difference, and that, you know, come out here and join an organization and have a career and bond with the community, and I just think that's great. I think that I really know, this helped me know that I'm, you know, that I'm on the right path.
I think this experience has changed me in a lot of different ways, a lot of beneficial ways. I don't think you can go through something like this and see what you've seen without going through a change. There's just no way. For me, it's been an incredible learning opportunity and just opened my mind so much to the realities of the world.
I think that I naively expected to have more answers, to have more figured out at the end of the trip. And my experience last year in the study abroad to Northern Ireland should have taught me better. But I think I'm leaving the trip with more questions than I have answers. But I really think there's value in that. That I think this will inspire future study. It'll inspire future action. And maybe that's life. You know, once you figure something out, you have another question, and it keeps us working and keeps us living life.
This is a statue that I purchased while I was in Haiti, and as you can see, it is of a pregnant woman. Again, it fits with what my clinical practice is with mothers having babies. She has no facial features. She has no mouth. And for me, it's indicative of the Haiti environment, the Haiti context, the Haitian people, where oftentimes they have no voice and they're forgotten. And I hope by taking students to Haiti that students will give back in their life, and this will change, if not in Haiti, somewhere else.
There is so much happening in Haiti, so much creativity, so much innovation, so much sacrifice and courage among so many people who are really doing a lot to overcome various of these problems. That's quite inspirational. So we want students to somehow learn to existentially, you know, and intellectually in their minds and in their hearts, negotiate the tension between that which would cause them despair and anger and that which would give them hope and inspiration. And both aspects of the experience there and the facts that constitute Haiti, all of that is important. And so it's important to find in Haiti, but it's not important just because it is in Haiti. That's what it means to live as a moral citizen on planet Earth. In an institution like UVU, where students have the privilege to receive an education and to choose a career, those are two things most people in the world don't have. That they also then incur an obligation, a moral responsibility, and that is to use their education and their career choice to serve humanity, to change the world, and to make it a more just and a more peaceable place. And for me, ultimately, that's the most important thing about education. And that's the most important thing about having opportunities in life, is that you use them for those purposes. And That's a moral commitment I have. So therefore, it has shaped my own professional career. It has shaped my intellectual pursuits. It shapes my research program, and it shapes my teaching, and it shapes what I want to be in the world for students. And I'm glad I can be at UVU where I have the opportunity to do that.